And we're live. Nick, give him a good day.
G'day, everyone. Welcome to the Outback Packers podcast live edition. We have Iowa Joe, we have Peter on, we have Mike on. We're kind of just getting things started here, but we're going, as we kind of said throughout the week, we're going to be covering the draft live in real time, all of our beautiful faces. It's kind of going to be like going back over what happened in round one of the draft and looking ahead to what's going to happen today in just a couple of minutes from now, really. How are we doing all today, guys?
We're doing good here in the UK. It's, just after midnight, and looking forward to another long night. It was a very long night last night, but yeah, really looking forward to it. Like I say, it's good to be here and appreciate being invited on. So yeah, looking forward to chatting some Packers with you guys.
And we're covering all the time zones right now. We've got Nick in Australia, we got Mike in Hawaii, we got Peter in the UK, and I'm sitting in Iowa.
Four corners of the world covered.
And then we're going to have we're going to have a slew of guests, guys. I mean, stick with us. This is our first time doing this, so just stick around. We got a bunch of people coming in. We're going to rotate in and out as they come. And Mike, I think you said you're going to be here with me the whole time. Nick's got to go off and take care of his drop bears and his kangaroos. And
I apologize if you hear my two little children in the background every once in a while.
And Pete, you're more than welcome to stick around as long as you like. You just let us know when you got to drop out. And, hey, I'm ready for it. So the big thing is, what do I'm repping the shirt today, obviously. So what are your guys' feelings on the pick yesterday, Lucas Van Ness?
Love it.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely love it.
I have mixed feelings about it. I think it's I think it's a good player. His upside is huge. He's young and all that great stuff. And I get the choice of an edge, given the Packers' current situation, particularly with Gary's injury. It isn't the pick I would have made at that point with Gonzalez and JSN still on the board.
Sure.
And that's what I didn't like about it. Those guys still been on the board and the Packers going in a different direction. But I think he's going to be, a fine addition to the Packers. It's not about the player. It's more about who was on the board when they picked.
Yeah, sure. I definitely see where you're coming from. I think, it was just I found it so hilarious that, JSN and Gonzalez ended up falling to us and we passed on both of them, which, I don't think many people would have predicted that. But, I think the thing with Van Ness is he's one of the only true top tier prospects in this class. It's kind of a situation where if everyone pans out, he would probably be like a top 2 or top 3 player in this draft. And kind of looking at what we have left on day 2 of the edge rushers versus what we have left of the receivers, I'd much rather be in the position we are now than if we'd pick JSN and looking to draft someone like Adetomiwa or Adebaware right now, or even like guys like Will McDonald win at 15. It's crazy. The kind of the draft order was just so strange, and we'll get into that soon here. But I can definitely understand where you're coming from there.
Well, I wonder if maybe the Jets were higher on, or were on the Van Ness thing, and that's why the Packers were adamant about making the first round swap in the Rodgers trade. Now, obviously I've got the shirt. I'm going to show my homerism. I'm not going to say I hate the Van Ness pick. I matter of fact, one of our good followers and friends, let me get your name right. It's Dan O'Connell. Was asked me yesterday before the draft who I thought they were gonna pick, and I said what I'm thinking is probably going to be an edge, and I listed 3 of them. I listed Nolan Smith, I listed Murphy, and then I listed Lucas Van Ness. And it just at that point in time, it made sense that they needed edge. Like Peter said, Gary's injury, Preston Smith isn't going to be there forever. Enigbare filled in admirably last year, but other than that, there's no depth there. And so I know everybody loved the JSN, but I who was it that said it on Twitter? Trust me, I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to get everything worked out. So I'm not remembering who all tweeted everything. But somebody tweeted earlier that the Packers play maybe to wait until next year for maybe that wide receiver, being that the first round this year wasn't oversaturated with top talent for the wide receivers. I mean, JSN, great player. I would have had no problems with him. I don't think he's that top tier wide receiver. Had he been in the draft last year, I think he would have dropped to the second round because there were so many talented guys that went before him that I just don't think he would have been that first round pick. Now, obviously, with the lack of the top tier talent, they were going to have to take somebody, and he would have been it. I mean, he's a solid player and all that, but I'm happy with the Van Ness. I'm happy my dude Jack Campbell got drafted too. I was living it up yesterday. My Iowa guys represent. So it's going to be interesting. But here's the big question: what the hell is up with the Lions taking Jamari Gibb out of Alabama with their top pick? I mean, and then today I read that they're shopping DeAndre Swift. Are they doing this complete shift on their running room? I mean, they let Jamal Williams go. They're fielding offers for DeAndre Swift. They take a running back high up. Don't get me wrong. I love Gibbs. I think I liked him a little bit better than I did Bijan Robinson. But, so I can't deny it too much. But with everything else the Lions needed, really, they took a running back? Sorry, Nick's trying to eat his breakfast and getting kicked off. So
yeah,
I was trying to run my mouth there.
It's interesting. I'm not really sure what Detroit's plan is there. Gonzalez seemed like the guy that would be such a no-brainer for them. Gonzalez, Van Ness himself. I guess they feel really good about what they've got in terms of their defensive front. They just took Hutchinson second last year. They found James Houston either late on day 3 or he was an undrafted free agent. And, he also, was one of the top sack recorders for rookies last year. But I figured they would keep adding to that front just because of the kind of team they are. But I guess their way of looking at it is, Swift is coming up on his contract year. So no time. Running back is definitely one of those positions where it's better to move on a year ahead than a year late kind of thing. I do find it kind of weird that they'd gut their room and go with Gibbs, and I don't even know who their other running backs would be after him kind of thing. So that's the part that I'm kind of on. But, I mean, I still think they're probably going to win the division, in all honesty, this season. I do just think they're that good of a team. And I don't really, it's, I joke with my friends from when I was at Michigan that, it's your guys' time. And they're like, don't put that on us. But I honestly do kind of feel that where it's kind of Detroit's year. And yeah, I guess they had linebacker needs and stuff. So the Campbell pick is a little more understandable because at least it's like, even if you don't, there's debate over whether he played up to his combine speed and athleticism all the time. At least he's a pick that you can be like, we've seen how he functions in a cover 2, cover 4 heavy scheme. So he's going to translate pretty good to the NFL and stuff. But yeah, the Gibbs one, it's one of those picks where I always thought he was going like round 2 or round 3 because I don't know if he's ever going to be your RB1 kind of thing. I know some want to comp him to Alvin Kamara and stuff like that, but I don't know. Like, I don't think he's got the body type to hold up over, a full season being the number 1 bell cow. And I know no one really does that anymore, but I thought he's more of like he's more of a passing game threat, run, like kind of, I don't want to say gadget play necessarily, but, he's like a misdirection, not like a run it at you guy like Detroit had with Swift and Jamal last year. So it is kind of interesting to see, to kind of see what they're going to be come regular season, because I do feel like that was a big part of their offensive identity, was those two guys just coming at you every other play, basically.
Yeah, no, totally. It's just like, and it just, I was in the middle of like writing up a tweet and saying, man, the Lions have done such a good job in this kind of rebuild. They've had so many resources and they've been so smart about the way they've done it so far. And then, and they drafted me Gibbs at 12, and like Mike said, he's a good player, but I just, at 12, the value is just so brittle. And you see have you seen the video of them in the war room, and they make the pick and they're like, yeah, oh man, I'm so lucky we managed to get him at 12. And they're like chest bumping and they're all like hollering in the room. And it's just like, it's just so weird. Like 2 running backs selected before the first wide receiver. And like both teams had much bigger needs. It's just, I honestly, it's the most like, I don't want to say brain dead, but it's like, seems so silly to be like almost like wasteful to be taking a running back at 12.
Maybe somebody in the Packers room convinced the Lions that the Packers were going to take him at 13.
There you go. That would be it. Sorry, I'm trying to work on my Twitch stream. I thought it was up and going, but I guess you got to be smarter than the stuff itself, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think even like the rest of the NFC North, I kind of was pretty happy with the way that they drafted. I mean, obviously we just talked about the Lions, Jack Campbell and Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah, like they're both okay players, but like in round 2, like I don't think Jack Campbell's good enough to be going in the middle of the first round. And even then, the Vikings got Jordan Addison. I'm like, I don't know, I'm pretty off Addison since the athletic testing, the combine and whatever. I'm not sure you can really trust him with anything more than like a wide receiver 3 role. And the Bears got Darnell Wright. Again, second tackle off the board, Darnell Wright. Not really sure how good of a pick that is. I mean, look, I like, it's still early. We always, say that it's, you can never judge or like grade draft picks as they're made or even in the same year. But it is, at first look, and I'm pretty happy with the state of what the rest of the NFC North has picked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go, Peter. Go.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there was nothing in any of those picks that blows you away. And like you guys, totally confused by what the Lions were doing. Minnesota, yeah, Jordan Addison. I mean, there was a lot of talk that Minnesota may take a quarterback down there, and they may come back for one in round 2 if one's there, whether that's Levis or Hooker. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing there that makes you feel that any of the NFC North teams have immediately raised themselves any further above the Packers.
And how about that Will Levis drop?
Honestly, not really surprised. I never really got the hype. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Kentucky games this season just because they didn't really have any other prospects that I was interested in. But saw when he had, was that the Florida game or whatever, where they had a chance to win it at the end, but then like he got him down and then he false started because he started his play too early after a guy was in motion and then misread his protection and got sack fumbled. And I was just like, yeah, that's just about everything I've read on the prelim about him. I'm not surprised or anything. But I mean, even outside of that, it's one of those where it's like, okay, this is like, to bring up someone that I don't know many people would know, but there is this guy, Rob Johnson, who started for the Bills. And basically, if you ask Bills fans, a lot of them will say the asshole who started over Doug Flutie. But it's one of those, like, he looks like a good quarterback, but he's not necessarily a good quarterback kind of thing. And then, that's a fun legacy pick right now for the Steelers, and good for the Packers. 10 picks to go, but they just picked Joey Porter Jr., so that's a fun Joey Porter Jr. So
I'm surprised he lasted this long, honestly.
I'm not, because I think, okay, so 2 things. He tested, athletically, overall tested good for someone his size, but at the same time, he is kind of scheme specific in terms of like, he's a cover 2, cover 4 guy kind of thing.
Sure,
so, yeah, he doesn't, like, that's where Witherspoon and Gonzalez were definitely better prospects because they're more versatile prospects than he was. But definitely cool to see him go to Pittsburgh. And I do think that is a good fit for him because they do like the corners that do what he does, big, wiry guys. Could be a lot like an Ike Taylor for them in the past. So I do think that that's a really nice fit for both sides on that pick. And like I said, bigger picture for Green Bay, that just means one less team picking a receiver or a tight end. So as we see Green Bay slowly, I mean, both our picks are on the ticker on the bottom of the ticker on NFL Network. So we slink our way to 42. Levis smack talk I just had. I'm hoping he goes in one of these next, what is that?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 picks, I guess. So yeah, because we are the 10th pick from this point. But yeah, so in one of these 9 picks, I want him to go kind of thing. Or the whole I wouldn't worry about them picking him because I don't think they're so that was the thing with Brian Braum is like the Brian Braum pick is everyone forgets now because he was just a flat out bust, but the dude was like